I'm Jack.
And I'm Will.
And this is the Job Experiment After Dark.
Yeah.
Jack with all the freaking fancy names.
Will just chugged that one.
I'm so thirsty, bro. I needed something cold.
This is really good. That's a good sour.
It's
Wow.
one of my favorites.
That's fantastic.
What's that one called? Minky Doodle?
Yeah, so I'm drinking the Minky Boodle.
Minky Boodle.
Yep. Raspberry sour ale.
For years I called it the Monkey Boodle.
Yeah, it's Minky Boodle.
Yeah, it's got like a Superman or something on the outside.
Yeah, with raspberries and lightning bolts. It's
And
delicious, though.
Yeah, dude. And then I'm drinking the Nectar of the Hop Gods Pulp
Daddy!
Pulp Daddy! So, alright, and that says a juicy, hazy New England IPA, which New England hazy IPAs are like my favorite. Like a super hazy, unfiltered IPA is like where I'm at. If I poured this in a glass, it'd be like super, it'd look like orange juice probably.
But yeah, so we're, this is episode 2 of the JXP After Dark series that we're starting. So you'll notice, actually this is probably episode 3. Episode 1 was the Blue Barn episode, which wasn't titled JXP After Dark, but the next episode that you probably would have already seen by now is at JXP After Dark, and that's where we drank the bourbon from the Woodford Reserve.
Double oaked.
Double oaked, yes. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
And then we're drinking these.
Like we've said in other episodes, we're trying to get into like a more loose, chill groove. And talk about other stuff that we like to do too.
Yeah.
So,
and Will's the pulp daddy, so.
So I put me and my buddies from church and a couple other people play like poker probably every 2 to 3 months, I'd say, at my buddy's house. And like we have a pretty solid group now. It comes like 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
So we do 2 tables, and then like once you're down to like 4 people at each table, then you go down to 1 table.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, and then you just play like the last. I guess I ended up getting out with like 3 people left last time, and the last 2 people played till 2 in the morning.
Dang.
Yeah, but the pot was like $350.
Wow.
Yeah, because you get enough guys who put in $20. Yeah, because I think we had like 17 guys each, and each guy put in $20, and some people bought back in for $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
The pot gets pretty big. Anyways, you know, my buddy hosts, so everybody gives him like $5 for pizza and wings, because he buys pizza and wings, and then everybody brings like a pack of beer to share. So like, and everybody's pretty into like craft beer for the most part. So like everybody brings really good beer, which it's nice because if everybody brings some, there's plenty to go around,
Right.
and you can try a bunch of different ones. So I brought 2 packs. I brought the Pulp Daddy, and then I brought the Minky Boodle. Is it Boodle?
Yeah, Boodle with a B. Minky Boodle.
So that's one of my favorite sours. A lot of people would describe it as, so there's like 2 variations of a sour that most easily is described by, you either have like a more salty sour or like a super sweet sour.
Mm.
You know, kind of if you were going sweet versus dry with
Right.
a wine,
Makes sense.
it's sweet or salty, and I would say that it's more salty.
Yeah.
If you actually like think about it like that, it's like you suddenly are like, wait, it actually is
Yeah,
salty.
it's really not that sweet. Like you can,
No.
like the raspberry flavor is there, 100%. It tastes fantastic, but you get like the
The
really
raspberries are kind of
sourness.
tart.
Yeah, that's true.
They're
Yeah.
not super sweet.
That's true.
So yeah, that one's really good.
Delicious.
And it's not like a limited edition one. It's been around for a few years. This one's called the Pulp Daddy. It's my first time ever finding it. I partially got it because of the name. I thought it was sick.
And there's a deer skull.
And there's a
or
deer
moose
skull on
skull.
it. Yeah, I think it's a moose skull.
Moose, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
sick.
it's from, oh yeah. It's from the Greater Good Brewery in Mouchettes, USA. Moose. I have no idea what that word is.
It says Massachusetts instead of Massachusetts.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I was
Because
like,
their logo's a moose.
Yeah, so that's sick. So those are the reasons I bought it. I also really like New England's, and I'd never had it. So
Yeah.
I
love how the brewery's called Greater Good. That's hilarious. And then it's just a brewery.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
The
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, right.
For the greater good.
The description of this one is citrus forward with a smooth mouth feel. This pulp variation cranks up the haze. Pulp Daddy. So apparently, I looked into this a little bit the other night. They had like a New England IPA that was like hazy or whatever, but then they did another version, which is this one, and they left the pulp in, and they called it the Pulp Daddy.
It's the best
it's
name
like
ever.
the daddy of their New England IPA.
The Pulp Daddy.
And it's awesome, and it's unfiltered. Always store cold and drink it fresh, and it's delicious. And I love it.
So does Nikki call you Pulp Daddy now?
Well, that's the funny part. Doesn't have to do with Nikki, but like one of the dudes, I came into the poker game kind of late, and I sat down, and there were like two dudes. There were a bunch of people. Like Isaac was there, and like Chris Carter was there and stuff, and my buddy Taylor was there. And the guy who hosts, three of his brothers were at my table. Within the first two hands, I literally beat both his brothers out of the game. And they had to buy back in. And it was only like a half hour into the game.
You sent me Snapchats from that night, and you had all the chips in front of you.
So much.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Dude, if I had bought out then, I probably would have taken home like 2/3 of the pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least. You had so much. That's crazy.
Yeah. And and I stayed alive pretty long after that, but I have a tendency to like go really hard, bluff a ton, go really hardcore, and do really well. And then when I get to the final table, I get really conservative, and I'm like, oh, I gotta
and that's
be
where you
careful.
mess up.
And that's where I mess up, which I like lose my whole like vibe because people cannot read me. I'm one of those people just like they're like, did you even know that you had this card?
Well, that's what happens when
I'm
you
like,
have a compulsive liar playing poker.
Definitely helps. So yeah, dude, like being a storyteller and just like the ability to just like
no, you honestly you were made for the game of poker.
Yeah, there's so many times I'll just go all in and people are like, I have no idea if the dude has double the A's or whatever, or like has like 2 and a 6 off suited. You know, like
that's hilarious.
And I've won with that. Because people
bet.
like back out and they're like freaked out. They're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
This dude's pushing really hard, you know.
This dude's insane.
Or
we can't
like,
read him.
You know, or if I have like a really good set, I'm like, you know, I play these. I'm like, oh, 50 cents, you know, $1, and people are like, oh, okay, like, and they're like, yeah, this dude's got nothing or whatever. Boom, take it all. But yeah, I have a tendency to do that. And actually, it was Isaac's first time playing, and he's a really fast learner. Like he did really well for his first time.
Smart guy.
Super smart guy. Like I was impressed with how fast. The only problem with those smart guys is they only go in if they have something.
So
They always fold. Like one of our really good friends is like a financial analyst for like a really big investment company. Yeah. He's great at the game. Like he understands it way better than even I do. Like he understands like what cards do what. But there's a little bit of an advantage from my standpoint of like I don't fully understand like when there's some complications when it gets to like this hand beat this hand because of this one.
You're not worried
thing.
About that. So yeah,
I'm like that's too much to think about.
That's a good point.
I don't need to think about that.
Keep it simple.
People those smart guys always know exactly how much money they have in front of them. I never count. I don't count till I win.
Who needs to?
And if I don't win, trust me, I don't want to know how much I lost.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? I know that I bought in $20.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Sense. If you have like all the chips and then you're playing, that's gonna weigh in on your conscience. And you're like, I can't lose all this money. Like I gotta.
Yeah, dude. And I'd never. People are like, you don't even like necessarily like stack it up all nice and neat. Nope. I don't even know how much money I have.
Stone cold.
So like people like Isaac, it's like he did really well when he went in because he had good cards. But it's like, oh, okay, so like he doesn't have anything. I can push him around.
Yeah, right.
You know, stuff like that. So like, but he told me right away. He was like, as soon as I beat those two guys out at our table, he realized that the game. He only understood like 8 to 10% of the game. He realized like the rest of it was about bluffing and psychology
and reading people.
And
That's crazy.
That's why I'm good at the game, because those are things I'm good at. I'm not good at cards at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait.
But with poker, it's not just about the cards, and you prove that.
Really not.
Yeah.
At all.
No. Yeah.
That's just like a tool to like get there.
No. I mean, you even admitted you don't know all the rules about
No.
this and that, but you still win a lot. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and people are funny because they're like, oh, Will plays all the time. Like he knows, like he can be the guy to tell us like. And I'm like, no.
Dude, I don't know what this card means.
I'm like, because there's been time, like, I know basics, but there are times, like, there was this one time that I only won, like, half the pot because there were 2 pots going because, like, one guy went all in.
Oh, yeah.
And he ended up winning, like, his part, but he couldn't win the side pot. And I understand that stuff. But then it was between me and John Slamba or whatever because we both had really good cards. And literally, I just won because, like, my card was, like, better suited. And that's where I'm like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand. I wouldn't have been able to make that call.
Gotcha.
I could make basic calls, like, oh, you know, whatever. You know, like, he has pocket aces, like, or he's got, you know, there's 2 aces on the board. He's got 1 in his hand. He's got, you know, 3. That's amazing. Right. Like, I understand that stuff.
Yeah.
I understand if I have a decent hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also won with, like, a pair of 2s in my hand. Just because, like, a pair of something can beat out a lot.
Yeah.
It's, like, surprising. So, stuff like that is cool. I like the game a lot. Like...
Yeah, you get into it.
I will never go to a casino. Because I will lose everything.
Oh, yeah. Dude, casinos are interesting. Especially in Vegas.
Yeah, I can't go.
It's crazy, dude. In that city...
I would have to literally leave my wallet at home.
It's bad, dude. Like so I went to Vegas last winter?
Yeah.
2 winters ago? Forgot, but
I was in 2 winters ago because last year was COVID.
Yeah. So I was in Vegas and we stayed in the Luxor, which is the Egyptian pyramid that has like the light that shines into the sky. It's pretty sweet.
That's right.
That's where we stayed, and it's like there's a casino in that place, and it's like when they say like it's 24 hours, there are people that are there at the machines at 3, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning that never went to bed. Like, we woke up and we saw the same people that were there when we went to bed. It's very depressing when you walk around in there. And me and my buddy, we're not gamblers.
Because you gotta think, like, those people are probably there all the time.
100%. So it was good, too, like, because I was there with my buddy Caleb, and we're not like that. Like, we didn't spend any money on anything, because we're just not like that. But if I was with somebody else, that might have been, like, tempting me. Like, if you came, I feel like I would have lost a lot of money.
Bro, I shouldn't go with anyone to a casino. Because, first off, I'm really good at talking people into doing stuff that they shouldn't
Dangerously good, yep.
Secondly, I am really good at convincing myself to do things I shouldn't do.
Oh, yeah.
And thirdly, I'm awesome at spending money I have and that I don't have.
And that's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Oh, it's insane.
I could probably handle a casino if I like went in with only $100 cash, no wallet, no cards, nothing. Maybe I would do okay, because that's all I would have.
Even then.
But I always tell myself, oh, like I would win a couple poker games, then I would leave.
You wouldn't.
But I'm one of those guys, bro, that's like, oh, I can't stop playing. I'm like, oh, I've made $3,000 so far.
It's a death trap, honestly.
Yeah. My father-in-law, like, he goes for fun. He, you know, he'll take $200, you know, and he's happy if he leaves with $200. And usually him and my mother-in-law come back with like $800 or whatever, and they made some money, and they're happy, and they go spend it at the outlets or whatever.
Right.
That's cool. Like, glad they have self-control. I couldn't do that. I'd be there all weekend.
Yeah. It's definitely...
It'd be hard for me to go work on Monday, especially if I won.
Yes.
I'd be like, I quit my job. I'm a poker player now.
Yeah.
Didn't we know a guy that moved to Vegas to play poker?
I feel like, yeah. I don't remember who.
It was Josh Batchless.
Did he? No way. Did he?
Yeah. For like a year, he moved there, and he played poker, both professionally and I think like under the table.
Yeah.
Like in like, I don't know, back garden games kind of thing, whatever. I don't know what they call that.
Dude, that is dangerous to get into. People get wild.
Yeah, dude. I would be... I could see myself having a problem with that.
It's toxic.
Because I'd be like, okay, so like it's dangerous because like you're playing against people that have guns. And you're playing poker for a lot of money. To me, that seems like the perfect game.
Yeah. That is high stakes poker.
That is like primo. And no one knows about it.
You gotta be
it's
careful,
completely illegal.
You gotta be careful. You're gonna get roped into something like that, and it's not gonna end good.
I got invited. I actually turned down a game. I got invited to like a higher end poker game.
Did you?
So
where at?
There's this kid that we play with. So he's like a doctor at U of R.
He's a doctor, and he's really into poker.
Paid for medical school by playing poker
my
at
goodness.
the casino.
Oh my goodness.
And he's Indian. Not to like, not that means anything. But he's an Indian guy, and his family's like very wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all really good at poker. And he's really good. And literally, like, he's poker games at his house. And his buy-in is $150 to $250. You can buy in from anywhere in there. No less.
I'm out.
And, like, you're talking, like, it's, like, high stakes. That's pretty high stakes for, like,
yeah,
like,
just
for regular
nightly,
people. For buddies. Like, okay, like...
yeah.
And
you get enough people over, that pool is big.
And I had a buddy that went. And he's really good at poker.
He got destroyed.
He lost, like, $400.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because he bought it twice. And,
it's dangerous.
And he's really good at poker. You know what, though? I've always said he's really good at poker, but he constantly says that I'm better than he is, which he's never beat me. So I don't know. I don't know what that says though, because there's been times that he's gotten beat out before, like I've played against him. So I don't know. Like I don't know, but he's pretty good. He understands more of the rules than I do. Anyways,
okay, buddy.
I got invited.
Enough boosting your ego. We get it. You're good at poker.
I got invited to that, and I was like, no, I can't go. And they're like, come on, dude. Like, it's fun. There's only, like, 6 of us. Like, you can win $1,000. I'm like...
Right, you could, or you could lose 500
like
or whatever.
And there's no buyout. So you play to the end.
That's high stakes.
Yeah, and the kid, dude, the last time I played poker, not this last time, but the time before it was just me and him down. It was just me and him against each other. The pot was, like, $400 or something. And I was like... It stressed me out, because I knew how... His name is Shiv, first off.
No way.
His name is Shiv.
Yo.
Bro.
That's amazing, honestly.
It really
Respect to his parents for naming him Shiv.
But he's like the nicest dude ever. He goes
Yeah.
the greatest road. He's super nice.
This the Indian guy?
Yeah. And he's like
I
training
wonder,
to be like a surgeon or something.
It must mean something in Indian. Like, that's hilarious, though. They probably don't even know, like, what that means in, like, the streets.
Dude is freaking phenomenal at poker.
Shiv.
I think he's just one of those guys that's just good at everything he does. You know?
That's the worst.
It really is. But
yeah, we all know those people.
like he drinks the best beer, drinks the best wine.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor. He's going to school for surgery.
Yeah.
He's trying to become a surgeon now. He's at U of R. He literally paid for medical school with his poker money because he played some professional games. He said he won $60,000 in an online game one time. And the buy-in was $60.
No way.
Yeah,
oh
bro.
my goodness.
Think about how tempting that is. But I actually know like 2 or 3 people who have done that. I had a buddy who went to jail or whatever, learned how to play poker really well.
In jail?
He learned how to play poker really well.
That's fantastic.
And when he got out the first year, because he couldn't get hired anywhere,
Won like $100,000.
he played poker online. He made $85,000.
That's insane. Oh my god, dude!
He plowed driveways and played online
That's
poker.
awesome. Here's the thing: I understand like it's a dude's like poker night. Like we're drinking nice beer.
Blast.
But dude, the online stuff, that is where you really get trapped. I mean, that is
your phone.
Is too tempting.
You
dude.
can't get away from it.
No.
I downloaded the app one time.
Delete it.
And I deleted it.
That is not good, dude. Online gambling.
I never connected my bank account. I just played like simulation games with just like random people. It was like no real money. It wasn't real money. It was just.
That's sketchy, dude.
Yeah.
There's people that live stream that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched it before. It's crazy. There's people that'll go into these like, it's basically an online casino, and they play like the slots and all this stuff, and it's like intense. And I'm like, dude, how on earth do people just do this? And they're like dumping money.
What freaks
into
me
it.
about it online is like, are you really telling me it's not rigged in some kind of way?
I know, yeah.
Like,
it's hard to believe.
Because like at least like when it's like human contact, you can read people. That's the other thing. It takes the psychology out of it. At least for me.
Oh no, 100%.
So it's like, that loses the fun for me.
Yeah.
I really have to play it in person. I'm probably going to do a few poker nights here at the house. I've already talked to Nikki about it. She's cool with it. I'm excited.
Poker?
I'll invite you. I'll invite
I will not be there.
Caleb will come.
Caleb?
Your buddy?
Oh, no.
He'll come. He'll come.
Yeah. I don't think he knows how to play poker. I don't know how to play poker.
Isaac did. Now he does. He loves it.
I don't want to know. That's the thing. This whole time we've been talking about how dangerous this thing is, and now you're trying to get me to do it? Yeah, that's a pass.
That's what I do.
I'm going to take the high road here and be like...
How many muddy roads did you not want to go down?
I mean, that's what? You can't compare that to that.
You were like, no.
We'll get stuck, and then we do get stuck.
Only when you say it, though.
Okay, dude.
That one day you really didn't want to go, and then we got stuck in the swamp. That was bad. We
Remember
both had places to go to.
That cornfield right by Churchville Chalet.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that field? We got stuck in there for a little. We got out. Nobody had to come and get us, but we got stuck, and it was like in the middle of the cornfield.
The only reason we got stuck was because I was in two-wheel drive.
Yeah. Yep. You were like, I forgot to put my hubcaps on.
Yeah, I twisted them, drove right out.
But we were stuck for a minute. We could I was like...
And we was out in the middle of a field, no woods around. It's not a public road, but a lot of people drive.
We were wide up. We were and sheriffs drive up and down that road all the time.
We turned off the lights.
Oh yeah, Will was like, "Oh shoot, we gotta, we're stuck, and
then
we're going to jail." I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
We're on private property.
Yep.
And I've gotten kicked off that property before.
Not surprised.
We went to Schmeg's after that.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I was about to say that, bro.
Man.
Rest in peace, bro.
Honestly, Schmeg's was the best. If we were going out, if we were going out plowing, it was always a chance that we'd go to Schmeg's, and that was one of the reasons why we'd go plowing with you.
Dude, it was so good.
But now that chance is gone.
NCFR is good, but it's nothing like Schmeg's. Schmeg's was they used creativity in their food.
They had remember the tour bus special? Dude, it was freaking huge.
Dude, it was 4 eggs.
Love it.
Shaved steak. A massive waffle. Sourdough bread, homemade. Huge amounts of bacon. And home fries.
And their home fries, the seasoning that they put on there was
And a coffee. It was
crazy.
I never finished it.
It was insane, yeah.
And I can eat a lot of food.
But all of their stuff was like that. It was just a ton of food. I went there so many times.
That steak sandwich that they made?
Yeah. Oh, we went there one time at night, and we got or at least I got
That was after we got stuck.
Oh, that was the night one.
And we got that fish sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was a fried fish.
Good.
It was a fish fry.
It must have been a Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic. Man, rest in peace.
The truck comes up in memories. That night comes up in memories all the time on my Google apps.
Does it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the truck was covered
in mud. Yeah,
covered. And I think I went in on a Saturday and washed my truck at Roberts the next morning. Because that's when I worked at Roberts. I probably never even went home that night. I probably just came and picked you up from Roberts.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And we were probably just tooling around in the truck.
Yeah.
When I first got my truck, oh my gosh, bro.
We had some fun.
I thought my first truck was...
We had some fun.
So here's what I should have done. You make mistakes. What I should have done is buy my first truck and then taken all the money I was going to spend on repairs of the truck and bought a four-wheeler and bought ramps for the truck bed.
True.
And just brought the four-wheeler with me everywhere. I should have just left the four-wheeler in the bed of the truck.
Yep.
And then just drove that everywhere. Because the amount of stuff that I took my truck through, thinking oh yeah, it can totally go through that. Now, you are never too stuck to get out. You can always get out.
Well,
it just depends how much equipment you need to get out.
Facts.
I've lifted trucks off of stumps with an excavator before. With chains. Just to get it out.
True.
And then driven it all the way back without power steering. Been there. Now, most of those things happened with the Ford. I learned a lot of lessons with the Ford.
Yeah.
I bashed Ford all the time because of how many breakdowns I had. But now looking back at my 18, 19-year-old self, I would say 95% of the problems with the truck were because of me.
Yeah. You gotta tell this really funny story here in a second.
So, yeah. So Jack just reminded me. when I first got my truck, and for like the first year I had it, pretty much all. I don't remember how soon. It was probably pretty soon after getting the truck. I used to take railroad tracks as shortcuts everywhere. Like, maybe to dodge the cops after driving super fast. Maybe to do other stuff. But I did it all the time. And I thought it was super cool.
It's pretty sick.
I thought I was really badass. And I still kind of think I am. For doing that. There was one night, I don't know, me and Jack...
We are in the middle of nowhere.
Me and Jack, I know exactly where it is now.
Yeah, it was like Mumford.
It's near Stokey Farms.
Yeah, it was back there, yeah. Way out there.
And I'm like, always like, I still do this, I'm like, oh, that'd be sick, like, where's that dirt road go? And and we were just driving around, tooling around at night, just pretty much looking for trouble.
Yeah.
We're like, how can we get out of, like, how can we get into trouble, and how can we get out of it really fast?
Yeah, legit.
Now, I'm pretty sure, you remind me if I'm wrong, I had a strobe light on my truck, right? With the back rack or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we're like, so we pull into this railroad track, and we're like, oh, sweet, like, we'll go down this one or whatever.
Yeah.
And then a cop pulls behind us and spotlights us. And I don't do anything except turn my strobes on. So, like, it looks like we're a service vehicle, like, working on the railroad tracks, and he literally, I think he, like, honked his horn thing, he, like, did his siren, like, once, and just kept driving.
Yeah. No, and that's 100% what happened.
Totally got out of it. Which is crazy, because, like, you can get arrested for being on road tracks and stuff.
100%.
And, like, it's stupid. I don't think you should. Like, I own the railroad tracks. It's the U.S.
You definitely thought you did.
It's the U.S. property. I still use railroad tracks when necessary, but it's, like, 3 times a year instead of, like, 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
I used to do it all the time.
But there was a couple other times too where like we would be ready to like roll down these railroad tracks that we've never gone down before, and then it got like too sketchy. Like the incline was like this, and we would have to be completely sideways, so we would have to back up.
Sketchy parts.
Remember when you have to like put in reverse and back all the way out to the road and like keep going? Oh my goodness.
The worst though was when I would do that in the winter.
Oh, that
and
terrible
there would be
idea.
2 feet of snow.
Terrible idea.
There's a railroad track from Salamanca to Lilly. And it literally saves you 30 to 40 minutes.
Straight. Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time. And obviously most people won't do this. And can't do it in a car.
Yeah, no, of course
or
not.
Minivan or whatever. I've now officially taken every truck on the road tracks that I've owned. Plus some work trucks.
You took the new one on the road?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. To camp?
Yeah, I'll tell this story. It's pretty funny. So, Chris Carter, shout out to Chris. He was so, like, he's pretty new to the camp world. He only, like, came to camp because he's dating Lydia. So, like, he, like, has no idea. And he has no idea, like, really much to do with, like, any stories. He doesn't know about the railroad tracks. He doesn't know about the Native Americans. He doesn't know about the sheriff.
The red-eyed Indians.
Yeah, he doesn't know about that. He doesn't know about the sheriff who, like, died on camp property. The Indian sheriff that like committed suicide on the Lilly property right on the line, and
super sketchy.
Like or like the prisoner that escaped.
Oh yeah, dude.
We were like campers then, right?
Oh yeah.
So preaching through their helicopters everywhere.
Yeah.
That was freaky.
Yeah.
I thought it was sick, but looking back, I'm like, that was really dangerous. Why was camp?
Yeah,
dude. They like cancel camp because of COVID. They don't cancel because of a prisoner in the woods. Think about that for a second.
Camp Lilly, baby.
I love camp, but bro, what were they thinking,
I don't
dude?
know, man. That was sketchy.
Bro, if my daughter was a camper and that happened, I'd be down there in my truck with a gun, freaking picking her up. Get in the freaking truck and get out of here.
We're taking the railroad tracks. We're getting out. 100%.
But Dad, I don't want to be... No, there's freaking pedophiles in the woods. But anyways, so...
Of course.
Anyways, so like me and Chris go to get pizza for everybody, and this is like during the off season. It's like our families were getting a pizza or whatever. No, actually, it was during camp this summer. It was during camp this summer, but it was like we didn't want to eat camp food, and Chris was down there with me, and like Nikki was staying for the week with Charlotte, and we were just gonna have pizza at my parents' house down at camp.
Yep.
And me and Chris were like, "Oh, we'll go pick up the pizza for everybody, like my family and like the Botters or whatever." All right, cool. So like. I'm like, I don't want to take the new, I don't want to freak Chris out, and I don't want to take my truck on the road checks. I'll take the way roundabout way. So you have to like go through not quite through Randolph, but through Red House, get on 86, go all the way in a big circle, go to Salamanca, and get the pizza. The pizza, pick it up. So that takes like 35 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's freaking annoying. Well, as I'm driving back to 86 from getting pizza, I look at Chris, I look at the highway, and I'm like, ugh, I can't do that again. So I just like take him a right hand turn. I like go this, and Chris is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, taking a back way. He's like, "Won't that take longer?" I'm like, "No,
not the way I'm going."
I was like, "You can time it." I was like, "It takes 6 to 8 minutes depending on how fast you go." He was like, "What?" And then I'm like, "Just, I like crank up the music or whatever, freaking fly onto the tracks." He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Bro, just." Well,
that's it. Wait, first of all, that's a Will's signature. When something bad's about to happen or Will's just going off the rails, he cranks up the music so you know it's about to go down.
Do I do that?
Every time, without fail, yeah.
Really?
100%. Even when we're plowing, dude, if you're about to do something sketchy, crank up the thing, and then you're just drifting in the parking lot.
I want to make sure that I, like, die to something nice. Listening to something beautiful.
Anyways,
well, this has happened before with me, but, like, obviously Chris was like, "What are you doing?" And, like, he's all freaked out.
Right. And he hasn't really known you that long.
Yeah.
Compared to,
we've been, like, buddies for, like, a year. I think we, like, good buddies for, like, a year and a half. We've known each other for, like, 2 or 3 years.
Right.
From church, but, like...
It's not like me and you going out and we're just doing whatever.
And he has no idea, like, what I'm doing. He had no idea anything about this.
That makes it so much better.
And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, like, I'm sure Lydia's must have told him stories.
Right.
I'm sure he must have heard. Because everyone knows that and he knows I'm crazy, but everyone knows that I do this.
Yeah.
It's, like, weird that I haven't done it in a while, kind of thing. Anyways, so, like, we're flying up the road tracks. There's, like, and this has happened to me before. There's a black pickup ahead coming the other way. Coming towards us.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, like, this could be a bad situation.
It could definitely be.
Because, like, Native Americans will, like, in Salamanca, like, they could just kill you and leave you out there. They don't care. And it's a federal issue. It's not, like, a local issue because they're only, they only report to the federal government. So, like, things just kind of go unseen and undone kind of thing.
And that is terrifying.
It really is.
Anyways. So you were a little bit worried about that.
I was a little worried, knowing what I know.
Yeah.
And, obviously I was packing some heat, and I just looked
you got one hand on it.
Oh, yeah, bro. And I had, like, some stuff in the back, too.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally told Chris, I just looked at him and, hey, there's a bleed stop kit in your door. With a tourniquet and it's like that whole, like, the I forget what it's called, the terminology of it, but essentially, like, seals a gunshot wound.
Oh wow!
So it's like plastic. It's really sticky.
Okay.
And it's like it goes over, and then it'll go over there's a back piece too. So if it went through you, it helps stop bleeding.
Okay, what was the look on his face when you said that?
Bro, he like looked at me and looked at the truck and looked at me and looked at the truck, and he was like, "What?
What's about to go down?"
And he's like, "This is really bad." And I'm like, "It could be." I was like, "Or it's totally fine." And I was like, if it's bad, I was like, just grab that and, like, duck. And, like, I'll just, like, blow out the freaking dash, It's like, completely. And I was like, and then if you got time, I was like, crawl in the back and, like, grab, the heavier duty piece in the back. And he's like, okay. He's like, this is really bad. I'm like, it's not yet. I was like, but we are trespassing on Native American property.
Anything goes.
I was like, it used to be better when my trucks looked crappier because I kind of fit in. I was like, not anymore.
Those days have passed.
And so, like, the dude pulled off to the side so I could get by. And I'm like, all right. Like, my dad taught me, always act like Like, if you are somewhere you shouldn't be.
Oh, right.
Act with confidence like you should be.
Yeah. And
so I just kept a straight face.
Yep.
One hand was down here, and I was just like, hey, like, wave, and just kept driving, and then I freaking hauled out of there, dude.
Smart.
The dude just, like, didn't do anything. He, like, gave me a dirty look and just, like, stayed pulled off. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, we'll just keep driving.
Nothing to see here.
And then Chris, like, after we get past that and we get to camp, he's, like, telling everybody stories. Like, we almost died. Like, and Will was, like, totally chill about it. Like, he's the luckiest person I've ever met. Like, we should have gotten shot.
It's so funny, because, like, this guy, he doesn't know you as well as some of us do.
He goes, I should have gotten shot.
Like, the best part about the whole thing is, you've been in that same situation probably, like, dozens of times. That's why you're so calm. Like, you just knew, okay, there's one of two things that's going to happen here.
Yeah, that's how I look at everything.
Either you're going to be totally fine, which is most times, or it could go bad. So you're prepared for the worst.
If it goes bad. I have bleed stop kits in every door. Got extra mags in the center console. Yeah. I'm like...
This poor guy, he's probably like shaking, like, what is happening? I don't really even know what's going on.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty funny.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of worked out. But yeah, he tells that story all the time now. Everywhere. And I'm like,
and you're just like, that's nothing compared to what else I've done.
So many times.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm like, I've literally had cops pull guns on me. So.
Yeah, nothing new.
So.
Such a funny story.
Yeah.
I just thought it was crazy, like, the first time you took me on the tracks, because I was just like, wait, what? What do you mean we're going to take the railroad tracks?
I was like, it's faster.
And you weren't wrong. We get on those things, and it's a straight shot to where we're going.
Which tracks did we take the first time we went?
I don't even remember.
Was it off, like, West Side or something?
I think it was, yeah.
Oh, Grace was with us. No.
Oh, because that storm?
But there was one time we picked Grace up.
Yeah, there was a big storm going on.
And you're like, we'll just take... You were like... I was like, let's take the railroad tracks, and Grace was like, what? And you're like, oh, we do it all the time.
I got some sick video from it. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, I posted... I think I made a video for you with that. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, I don't have a video of that.
I had like my GoPro set up. I remember that because we were out like chasing the storm. It was like some huge thunderstorm that was supposed to come through Rochester.
Yeah.
And we're like, and you were in the area, so you're like, yeah, let's just screw around. So yeah, Grace was in the car. I was in the car. I set up the GoPro. But then once we got on the railroad tracks, I took the GoPro and put on a big selfie stick, and I was like, I put it out the window, and I was like hanging out the window and everything.
I wonder what happened to that video, dude.
It was pouring down rain.
I wonder if it's on your Instagram.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Because I don't think it's on mine.
I think I took it apart from that and put it in that one video that I made, where it was like you and me just off-roading.
The swamp one?
Yeah, where we got stuck and your thing got sheared off. And all
that one's sick.
I think I combined all that stuff together.
That one's on my YouTube channel.
Right.
It's like the only video on my YouTube channel. And then some kind of like random Northgate Rochester Youth Conference like ad that I did.
Sounds about right.
It's kind of random. It's a weird video. I don't know how to delete videos off my YouTube, so...
I don't know.
I probably should before I put anything on there.
You can... No, it's easy to delete them.
Oh, really?
I can show you how to do it.
Alright, easy. Cool. Check.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're listening to this, definitely check out our YouTube, because the entire third season has all been on YouTube, so...
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it's better to watch what's going on, because you can... I don't know. Sometimes I like it better, sometimes I like just listening, but at least now you have the option.
Yep.
And that was the whole goal with us posting on Saturday, too, because it's kind of like a more relaxed thing. You know, you're home just drinking coffee with your family. You might as well just put the job experiment on, you know?
That's right.
We're a household name now.
And then we have, like, clips and stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. You definitely got to check out the Instagram. Check out the merch. I just did a couple photo shoots with the merch. Just like with myself.
Superfly.
So definitely check those out. Shout out to Eli, because he was like asking me about it, and I think he's going to buy some more. You're the man. Yeah, if you do end up getting merch and you live in Rochester or whatever, or even if you don't, like, definitely like take pictures with it or something. Post on your story and tag us in the story.
Please.
We will 100% repost it. I'll repost on my personal.
Same.
Like, I think that would be so sick. I know a lot of people out there have the merch, so.
Yeah.
That'd be dope, yeah.
My sister owns, like, almost everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Shout out to Faith. Yeah, I only have, like, I think 3 things. I've got 2 shirts and that cigars and coffee hoodie.
Yeah, I ordered the cigars and coffee, the Java. I have some original stuff that we don't even have anymore.
The OG, oh yeah, where I, like, messed up.
Like the gray one with,
it was, like,
super
tiny.
faded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have like one that I made that looks terrible.
We have one picture up on Instagram that Caleb did because he was wearing the crew neck.
Oh, I have that crew neck too.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely check all that stuff out and
Sweet.
Let us know what you think about the After Dark series.
Yeah.
Because I think it's more fun. You know, it's
yeah,
more
so we have like
back.
3 series going right now.
Yeah.
Cigars and Coffee, After Dark, and then our regular.
Yeah. And it's just nice because we have different avenues and we can split it up, so it's not the same thing every time.
And they're going to be a little, like, they're not going to necessarily be, like, right in order. And, like, Cigars and Coffee is probably going to be, like, a once-a-month thing.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
Might be even every other month. And then, which we'll probably actually record that again soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
Are you working tomorrow? We have to do it tonight.
Shoot.
Who knows? But yeah, other than that, we love to see feedback. I've seen a lot of comments on YouTube. People just commenting, so I see them. I appreciate them. I've seen some new subscribers coming through. Ian subscribed to our YouTube, so shout out to Ian. But yeah, other than that, it's been another episode of the Job Experiment.
Sweet. Out.
Out.